What up, everybody? Welcome to Live at the Bike. Here's a continuation of the Taiwan Millions final table.
What's up, guys?
Got Wayne in the building. I am JG De La Garza. Both Andy and Kitty Kuo both had a day one exit with a few bullets. There we see Jerry, who was on our day one feature table with the King Jack of Diamonds. Winner of this tournament is going to take around $38,000
USD.
The next there are 7 players left. The next place is going to take around $6,700. So if we recognize any of the other players from day one,
38K to 6K. That's a big jump. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, usually, so I'm calculating the rest of the monies right now, but usually it's way more top heavy. I want to say, like, I feel like if the winner's taking usually around 38,000, then 7th place is usually taking around 4, maybe 5. Maybe this is about correct. Especially like World Series events, WPT events are very top heavy.
Got it.
Usually the top 3 spots that make all the money. What you been up to, Wayne?
You know, a lot of different things. I was on my buddy Jay, the co-founder of chess.com. He has a Mafia app, and I sent you and Brian the clips. We were on with Jen Shahad, Daniel Wrench, a couple of grandmasters in chess, and we played some Mafia.
Nice.
Then, there's a lot of things going on. Next Monday, we have Maria Kournikova in the Poker App podcast. The week after that, Ryan Fee. The week after that, Jen Shahad. This Thursday, though, we have WPT Deep Stacks Director Kathy Zhao.
There you go.
We'll get JJ De La Garza on the WPT as well, as the winner and the commentator.
Yeah, I would. I've done one WPT final table at the bicycle. That was a lot of fun, for sure. I think I did some introductions of some chip counts and stuff like that too before, and then went to the back and broke down the action.
Once again, this is in Taipei, Taiwan. So it was really interesting. The Chris Brewer Pokercraft podcast I had, he let us know that there's an inefficiency in GG Poker's late reg. Like, you can late reg for 10 big blinds and actually get plus EV off your ICM. Like, I think it gives you 10 bigs, and it gives you more ICM than you're paying for.
On GG Poker.
Yeah, like specific tournaments.
Gotcha. Well, that's how at the World Series, Chris Ferguson was like getting all the player points. He was late regging every single tournament. So
the ICM was higher.
Yep, and he was closer to the money. He already beats out like 40% of the fields. He only has to outlast another 30% to get in the money, since the World Series was like 15 or 20% the last couple years.
Well, that's professional. But Chris Brewer did say that, there's much higher variance, obviously, when you're buying in for 10 big blinds.
For sure. It's overall better on your money, though.
Yeah, I asked him. He said, obviously, unlimited money, he wouldn't do that, but it depends on your bankroll. So we have a small blind versus big blind, it looks like. Might be a limp with 10-3 off in the small blind. The big blind raises the 6s, and there's a limp fold. One of the things I do in the liveofthebike.com archives, I played a lot of tournaments on Global, and anytime that situation comes up where small blind limps against big blind, I would just raise and take it down, basically 99% of the time. That being said, it's online, so they don't know who I am. I guarantee you, if they see me in the big blind, it's probably going to be a limp back raise from the small blind, not a limp fold. Let's get some shout outs. Nick from Yumo shouts out Brian Arakaki. What up, Dan D? Thanks for joining the CTP Poker Club Taiwan Million Tournament High Roller Final Table.
All right, guys, so I was doing some quick math over here. It looks like we have 7 players left, and we have an all-in from, his name is The Answer. And 7th place is going to get around $6,700. 6th place is $8,500. 5th place, $10,900. 4th place, $13,700. 3rd place, $17,800. 2nd place, $27,200, and 1st place is going to be $38,000.
So it's cut off against button, all in. King 3 suited.
So The Answer just shoved about 19-ish big blinds with King 3 from the cutoff. Seems pretty loose to me. Depending ICM considerations, but that just seems way too loose. That's a spot where you can just kind of raise it up and fold, but look at that.
He spikes the king. Jerry needs a 3-outer, an ace.
And
Jerry had him covered though. Oh no, he didn't.
Oh, Jerry's gone. Jerry was the one who's destroying the day one first table. And
right, I remember.
He's gonna exit now, winning 66-75. But he also did get a play with Kitty Quill and Andy all day one. He ran pretty good on Andy from what I remember. So it looks like they're double checking the chips.
Still beating a field with Andy and Kitty. Not easy.
Oh, for sure. And well done, Jerry. Welcome to Live at the Bike for your first time. Actually, it was your second time, but
2 times.
So you got Kathy's out Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
And then Monday you have who'd you have Monday?
Maria Konnikova, the author of the New York Times bestseller.
Yep.
The Bluff with Eric Seidel.
Yep.
And then Ryan Fee the Monday after that, and then Jen Shahad the Monday after that.
Nice.
And then we will be on the Tuesdays and Thursdays. What's up, SS the G? Dennis Robertson.
So now the Answer, seat number, we'll call it seat number 3, he's going to have a bunch of chips. So he's going to have over 60 big blinds on this final table. Pull up the YouTube chat.
There's a Hearthstone player, Ray C, that used to coach Dan Zach. He coached me yesterday, and I was on his Twitch stream.
He was coaching you in
Hearthstone. Yeah, he might come on to Live at the Bike, and I'll coach him, and we could show that.
What's up, SS Theg? Dennis Robertson, what's up? Sam D, Dan D, Nick from Yuma, one more time. I know Wayne gave you a shout out. EMS 499, what up? See a blind versus blind battle, and Tony is going to flop the best of it. Tony is player in the red shirt. Well, what'd you do this weekend, Wayne?
What did I do? I've been working on a lot of stuff, and yeah, we're always working on stuff. We can't announce it until it's like almost done, or when it's done and it's going to be launched soon. So,
and here are the big blinds, actually. And it looks like the Answer has less big blinds than we thought. It says only 35 big blinds. He must have had, the opponent must have been pretty short stacked that ace queen.
He had about 80% of the king three.
Yeah, that's weird because it says that the answer only has 35 big, so maybe it's they gotta update the stack maybe. But he has 7 chips, and Carlos in seat number 1 has 130 big blinds, and the rest of the pack has around. Actually, there's a couple short stacks. Ren in seat number 6 has 13 big blinds, so he's probably going to be making some moves.
So Ace Jack's going to make it 65,000. Folded to the blinds. Looks like they're going to fold. Uncontested money is always good.
So since Ren in seat number 6 in the flowered shirt right there, since he has 13 bigs, the other players are probably going to be putting a lot of pressure, especially this is the time when the big stack can put a lot of pressure on all the stacks, because no one wants to bust before Ren busts with only 13 big blinds. The difference, however, is only 2,000. So the pay jump isn't that insane. So with the pay jumps, interestingly enough, not being as big, you can't put as much pressure though. And it's on the short stack. And they're going to fold just to the big blind. And that's the power of having all the chips, Wayne. People just fold your big blind. No one really wants to tangle. What's up, Mad Benjamin?
It's a very common situation that I've been having is when it's four-handed and then the bottom two have approximately the same chip stacks. It's always like, it's very strategic, like when you should be shipping, when you should throw the other guy under the bus because he's about to be the big blind.
Yeah, the basic fundamentals of ICM is you want to bust in the order of your chips to get the money of what they're worth. So if you're third in chips, you should be aiming to let right now 6th, 5th, and 4th bust. Obviously, you can't just play extremely tight and just wait, but you have to be more cautious to make sure that those players bust. Obviously, if you still get their correct spot, you want to take advantage of a certain spot or take advantage of certain short stacks by applying pressure, then that's fine. But you don't want to blow up your stack versus the first player in chips or the second player in chips where the shorties bust.
So if one of the short stacks is under the gun, it's going to be the big blind next. He has to suffer through the big blind, the small blind before he gets the button. So then you would probably be a little bit tighter with your steals or just your opens in general.
As the short stack, correct?
Yeah, as the short stack, or even if you're in third place. Like if you're, one of the leaders, it doesn't matter so much. But
yeah, I mean, if you're the short stack, it's when you can kind of just not necessarily get your chips in bad, but you can gamble it up. Let's get kind of really quickly because we've got a small blind with the Israeli Ron hand. Shout out to Israeli Ron, just in case you're watching deuce with the answer with top pair. And this is going to be a spot where if Carlos puts a lot of pressure, it's going to be tough for the answer because the answer is second in chips and there's a short step. And once the flop gets slow played by Carlos, I assume we're going to see a check and raise. It looks like here comes some chips. So weird that he's doing all that with all his chips. So if I saw this hand and saw that he did that again, Wayne, I would give that a string tell. Obviously, you have to correlate it a few times, but that was, now you compare that to, let's keep that in mind, if he just bets super fast in a spot. So two things would be going in my head if I was the answer, and I'm not folding a king in a small blind versus big blind spot. But I'm going to think about the check raise should be strength, and he did a lot of funny things with his chips. And if he does that again next time, I can give him credit for a big hand. But the red flag would be up in my brain at the moment. Flush draw bricks. And it looks like he threw in a time chip.
Those whites are time chips?
I think so. And if I'm Carlos, I'm going to put out a pretty big bet, maybe something like close to 300,000 or 200,000, because all the draws miss, so his hand looks like a missed draw, and he unblocks the king. He unblocks the top pair to get paid. And he bets, he's even sicker, he bets over the size of the pot. And it's a good spot to overbet here because his hand is polarized with his check raise on the turn. It looks like maybe check raise something like Jack 10 of hearts, Jack 9 of hearts, 8 7 of hearts. Throws in the time chip, the answer does. Trying to get a read. So I actually really like this bet. It's a spot that Carlos can really take advantage of the answer. And I probably wouldn't do this as much with the hand that I want to get paid with, only because it's so much pressure on the answer that he's going to probably have to fold just because he is second in chips. But he pays it off. And Carlos,
shout out to Israeli Ron. Shout out to Israeli Ron.
And Carlos's bet, played to perfection, check raise, over bet, and he gets paid there because he's just repping like a 2-pair set or a brick jaw, Jack 10 and all the flush draws. So you see the answer go down in chips, and now after the answer was tangling, that's why it's so dangerous to be tangling when you had a lot of middling stacks. But now him and Ren are the two shorties. So
really hard to blame him there.
Sit back and let the two shorties bust.
One of the things I was noticing is that a lot of this is very retro because poker is not as developed in Taiwan. You know, I know of about 10 years ago, like on Super Poker, like they were trying to, you know, get poker going there. There was a couple pros that were trying to help them out. Kitty is trying to educate the Taiwan public as well. But a lot of this, like the action now, is kind of reminiscent of like the USA in like 2010. Like that was a great play with the overbet 500 into 350. That's like an old school style overbet. You're just hoping that the guy with value can't lay his hand down.
Yeah, it was a very good bet. I actually didn't think he was going to get paid just because of ICM. But worked out.
Yep, Dennis Robertson. Israeli Run must have coached him. What's up, Tim Cox?
The blinds are 30K. No, they went up 40K, 20K with a 40K big blind ante. And the answer is going to shove his button. He has 14 bigs.
What's the approximate shove range? King 8's definitely in there.
King 8 seems good. Now that he's pretty much one of the short stacks, he gets to gamble it up and be aggressive on these middling stacks that don't want to lose their chips. So I would say King 8 probably near the bottom offsuit. Then you can probably shove maybe king 5 suited.
I was thinking king 5 off and king deuce suited. Shows you where my mind is.
I mean, I don't play a lot of tournaments, so I don't know shoving ranges. I'm just kind of going off the feel of what I would do. I can open up snap shove, although that doesn't really take into ICM consideration, so it doesn't. Snap shove doesn't really help in this situation because
right,
big pay jumps. But in game, I'm probably king 8 is probably the last hand I'm shoving in my range of offsuit kings, and I'll probably just shove king 5 of diamonds. Whereas if the opponents I know are super tight, I'll shove a little bit lighter, and if I know that they're gambly to my left, even though it's a final table and they shouldn't be, I would shove tighter.
One of the strats from like OG times is people self-destruct a lot. So if you just hang on, you could just like fold into a higher pay bracket.
Oh, I mean, that's not even like OG. Like 2 out of the 3 tournaments I've won, which they weren't big guys. It was like a 55K win, like a 53K win, 35K-ish win, and a 13K-ish win. So they weren't huge wins, but literally 2 out of the 3, I think like the first one that I won that was 53K was I came into the final table like 8th or 9th in chips, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to try to ladder and give it what I got. And I think that's the second one I think that I won was kind of similar, but I started like 5th and 4th in chips, but I definitely wasn't going crazy. And the last one that I won, which was in 2018, it was a World Series event, circuit event.
Circuit ring, yeah.
I
remember.
I was playing super aggro from the beginning of the tournament. I just like bought in, and it's a blessing and a curse now that I'm probably better at tournaments now, but I'm also shipping stacks a little bit too light at times because of the new game theory of shoving ranges and stuff. Whereas maybe in the past I would have waited out some situations more and not go broke in certain spots. So it looks like David is going to open rip on the short stack. The short stack wakes up with kings. So a pretty big cooler for the small blind. What is this equity? Is it like 8 or 9% equity, right?
He's got like 15% because of the spades. He's suited.
Ooh, flush draw and straight draw.
Yeah, I know.
Best sweat he can ask for besides like a 9 on the flop. It's a backdoor flush draw. Or a 9, a 9 with a flush draw. Sweat. Is it coming, Wayne? What do you think?
Yes. Oh, it came. Just the wrong piece.
Yeah. So, looks like Ren is going to double up. And now the short stacks are going to be the answer in the green shirt right there. And the man who just lost the only with King 9. The King 9 is a mandatory shove there.
Yeah, oh, no shorting.
I mean, that's the spot where you can pretty much punish that short stack. Although the short stack is going to be gambling it up too, though, because you only had a certain amount of big blinds. I think you had like 10 or 11 big blinds to start the hand. So you see David and the answer. David just lost that pot. Too short a stack.
So Carlos, look at that massive lead on the field. It's got almost 6 times the next stack.
Damon Santori, he said JJ bought a bunch of Manscaped product with his 55K. Shoot, I should have bought some Manscaped stock with some and some Spotify stock. Here comes the answer. Look at how, did you notice how he shoved that, Wayne?
Yeah.
That, to me, that would reach strength.
Yeah, me too. And I would be very surprised if he flipped over 6s.
He, well, 6s is pretty strong. 6-handed and with 13 bigs. and he kind of like went like a little like that. I would be rating that a strength for sure.
I just would have guessed like nines or better with that, but everything's relative. And I was listening to Prahlad Friedman talk, and when he was talking about there was a controversial hand he did when he said call, but it was out at the very end of the time, and then supposedly this call wasn't in time, and he was deciding whether the strength tell, like what hand range the strength tell was representing, because not all people interpret the same hand ranges as strong. That's one of the skill sets in live poker.
Claude Friedman is definitely one of my favorite poker players.
Yep, me too. I used to watch him probably like 2003, 2004, and he was my biggest influence in the classic game of No Limit Hold'em. A lot of the stuff that you see today in training sites is literally the stuff that he said when he was, when he was recording himself or talking and streaming, or like balance ranges, blockers, like he said all that stuff. Overbetting, he would like 2x pot bet river and get called.
What
different era.
What year was this?
It was 2003 or 2004, because I know late 2004 I started like doing really well on Party, and my breakout was I started doing well in 1020 No Limit 2004 on Party, and then I switched over to, I still played on Party, but probably like 10% of the time. And in 2005 I played mostly in Hollywood Poker, and that was just like boom.
Where was Prahlad saying these things? Well, we got an all-in, so let's see if Tony's tens can hold here. Ships it from under the gun in 6 mats, which is equivalent to the low jack. And Carlos has a bunch of chips. He's going to let go of the king 9 suited. That's very disciplined.
So King Jack in the big blind folded. How do you like that fold 6-handed?
Yeah, beautiful.
I don't know, but like for Prahlad, like I know I was watching him play. I think it was like heads up in a lot of times, and it's been a long time, and I heard him like talk about hands too.
Oh, so you're just saying that he was like interviewed on certain spots, and those were the terms he was saying?
I definitely saw him like online. I was watching him online. I don't know whether it was like from a video or actually on. I don't think it was like him actually playing. Like I must have seen a video of him playing.
Huh.
And I think he was talking, or maybe the article said some stuff. I don't remember.
Yeah, I just think like at the time, like those goats, and at the time, Prahlad is, I still think he's one of the top players, and I would take his action in any game format. But at the time, he was definitely one of the no limit goats, hands down. And I think those goats at the time was wide that they didn't talk too much strategy. Like, the Phil Ivey, the Antonius never talked strategy. A lot of Friedmans.
Maybe it was somebody else talking about Prahlad. I don't remember, but I do clearly remember I've seen like videos of his hands.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just more happy that the goats of the time didn't share all the strategy. Although I'm always happy to watch a new video when it comes out, and I'm like, oh, let's hear what this guy has to say. Let's hear what Ryan Fee has to say. Let's hear, what these other like top players have to say. But like, I don't like it as a holistic thing for the poker community. It just like makes everything speed up way more. I mean, along with solvers and the best players saying exactly what they're doing. And Tony's going to shove. He's got ace queen this time. Last time he had pocket tens. Carlos, the big stack, has not folded. We don't know his cards yet. Depending on, it looks like Tony is shoving for 15-ish big blinds. Actually, yeah, around 16. So I think for Carlos to call there, he'd have to have like pocket sevens plus probably, and then ace queen himself, just because he knows that these players are going to be shoving very tight because there's two short stacks at the table.
You know, those comments you said about the goats revealing strat, they've said some people we know have said that about Live at the Bike as well. And, you know, after you've been, you know, filtering and upping the commentator game, we're definitely revealing some strat.
Yeah, it's like I mean, I study a lot. I won a lot of money playing middle stakes in LA.
Mid stakes poker is a great place to be. I'll tell you, it's a lot.
I don't think too many people in LA have made as much as me in mid stakes. Not to toot my own horn, and some people probably don't believe that, which is a-okay.
I would not bet against you. I'll tell you that.
But it also comes with the mystique for me being able to play against a lot of recs and stuff like that, because since I am very social and everything, I still get into games, especially because I'm one of the owners of Live at the Bike and a commentator. So it's kind of, the reason why Garrett still gets a lot of action. It's like he's very friendly to everyone, even though everyone knows he's very good. He's friendly, and even though in a hand he's trying to kill you, he's making sure that especially the Recs, are having a good time. So I think that's how all pros should be,
It's a hidden double gut shot. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a heart to go with his double gut shot. So the fourth heart comes and it makes him a straight.
I just wish we could see their overall chip stacks, because then it would make some plays a little more easier to break down, and we can say he should be using full force aggression or whatever, because this guy's a short stack. These are different chip stacks.
So good job by the ace deuce getting value, denying equity from the overcards and straight draw.
For sure, and that's a spot where he can just keep putting pressure. No one wants to bust next unless they have a good hand. So
position and aggression.
The only one who gets to fight back against the big stack is the shortest stack, pretty much the guy in 5th or 6th, because he's not losing a lot of EV. He's supposed to bust next through ICM.
Also, I saw
millions.
I saw an announcement from Ria Ho that she's co-commenting the main WPT, like the big boys.
Online.
No, the actual I don't know, but she's doing it with Vince Van Patten now.
No more Mike Sexton.
No more. I don't think so. I'll have to recheck the post, but that's what I saw.
I think Mike Sexton is a part of Party Poker, isn't he?
Yeah. I saw him at the Bike like half a year ago. He was playing a tournament.
Oh, he was playing the WPT.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He was just taking a break, and I was like, hey, Mike Sexton. I don't even think he knew who it was.
He's a nice guy. I don't think he doesn't know who I am either, but
he's just like, I don't even remember playing with Blake 10 years ago. And Blake's like, I remember clearly playing with you. I just seen too many people, seen too many faces. I played with Johnny Chan like 15 years ago, and now that he and I talk, I don't think he remembers that I played him 15 years ago.
And we get it pretty quiet at our LA final tables, but this final table is like, you can hear a pin drop,
Yeah.
These guys are focused.
That's why a lot of my online stories, I say the site, the year, approximate months. So if anyone wants to question, they can go back and check. And I can verify I was there.
So this is a pretty interesting spot here, because Carlos opens. Oh, never mind. Okay, Carlos is the big blind. He's just defending. So we're gonna see some multiple bets go in. We're gonna see a check call from Carlos, depending on David's stack. If David is one of the shorter stacks, he might just check raise them all in. Like if David has something like 11 or 12 bigs, this is just gonna get ripped in here. If not, we're gonna go check call mode.
Yeah, Pat Lyons won at WPT. Of course, open-ended misses.
What's up, Detroit Swiggy?
What's up, Detroit Siggy?
TS3 Shakes. Tim Cox. And it looks like it goes check, check, turn. And once it goes check, check, turn, Carlos has the best hand. And look at him go for another pot-sized bet. He's polarizing himself. It's tricky polarization, you know? Because he's not going to get a worse king to fold.
Put the chop in a tough spot.
And here are the chip counts. So I'm going to pause this so I can have this not on the main screen, but I'm going to pause it on my own screen and write it down just so we have a better idea of these players' chip counts and their maneuverability here.
So Carlos had around 5 to 6 times the next biggest stack.
Yeah, we're going to do this right now. So Carlos in seat number 1 has 120 bigs. Kenji in seat number 2 has 20 BBs. So everyone's getting close, man. So this is where Carlos can just put the heat on everybody. Tony has 15 bigs. Ren has, and I'm doing their seats in order. Ren also has 15 BBs. The answer, seat number 3, has 11 BBs. And the shortest stack is David, who is in seat number 6. With 10 BBs. So yeah, if I'm Carlos, I'm just max pressuring everybody right now. I'm min raising every hand pretty much. Remember, the answer has 11 BBs. So this is a spot win now where I have king 5 off. I'm probably just going to rip blind versus blind. Especially because all the stacks are close. The 3rd and the 4th have 15 big blinds. The answer right here in the green shirt has 11 BBs. So he has to call off pretty tight. And he has David, who has 10 BBs, seat number 6. So, yep, you see that raise gets queen 7 suited to fold, and he doesn't even like that. So his raise actually did more than the jam. He didn't have to risk as much.
Yeah.
I would just auto jam.
I agree with the jam.
Raising it up is not bad too. He might feel like he can raise it up in that spot, and then if he gets played back at, he's just going to fold because he knows that the answer should be playing pretty snug.
Right. I mean, if he has a exploitative, strategy, because we haven't been playing with these guys the entire day, and we know in a different location, different culture, different city, they have different ways of playing. So a lot of the you have to adjust whatever the solved or standard play is based on the field.
Wait, you been playing any poker lately?
A little bit, not much. When I was pre-recording vids for Live at the Bike, I was jamming a lot. There's some unreleased tournaments, a PLO episode, but we want to get the live poker.
So this is a perfect spot, Waylon, and we see that Carlos, he's on the button. He's going to raise up the king deuce. It's a perfect spot. Kenji has 20 bigs, and he's in second place. So second, 20 bigs, and he's second in chips. So So we're probably going to see a check, a bet, and this gets tricky because he is in second in chips.
Yeah.
Once you know that the chip leader is opening this wide, wow, and he checks back the king. I was going to say this is going to go check jam. How does Carlos sense that out?
I mean, he is the chip leader, so must have had some good live reads in the. I mean, I don't think you could fold to this bet.
Oh, no way. Probably gonna call this one, and then a lot of rivers, it's gonna go check. If a spade comes, the straining cards come like a 6 or 7. It's gonna go check on a lot of rivers, especially because Kenji is not gonna be going for thin value versus the chip leader. But you could see that Carlos already doesn't like it by his physical talent, which is crazy. I mean, you have top pair, and you check back top pair to snap call 2 streets usually from a game balance strategy.
Like, you might know his man.
When you do put some strong checkbacks to your range, you do it purposely so you can check call 2 blind, or you can call in position 2 blind bets pretty much with top pair. And look at Carlos; he looks so defensive here. And it's gonna get checked over to him. And there's no way that Kenji lets this one go. His king's way too strong. And another big bet. It looks like Carlos bet 160K in chips. No, he goes for a way bigger bet. He went for 225K. So he basically bet 5 big blinds. You just can't fold here. This is like not even a tank situation. This is just like a snap call. I know
you should take your time. You never know.
Your player is repping the 6-7, but maybe not because he would have raised a turn, and he's basically repping he has a 4. So, and there it is, snap Ruski.
Carlos can't see the bad news.
And Carlos value owned himself. And that's why we've seen a couple players call those overbets, because it seems like Carlos is just abusing the table with overbets when he assumes he has the best hand. So
Carlos now has a 3x chip lead, a little less than 3x chip lead over the next guy.
And the answer, and David, David is in seat number 6, and the answer is in seat number 3 with the green shirt. They both have 10 big blinds. So here are the 2 shortest stacks. And David's going to rip in his 10 bigs with ace-9 off. And if you're the other short stack, you don't want to see the other short stack gaining some chips here. What's up, Natty Wit? Mad Benjamin. What's up? And Tony's doing some Hollywooding here. Just a snap follow to Ruski. Tony's probably just showing face, so this doesn't happen again. Oh, he's using a time chip, which is...
Maybe he's wondering.
Yeah, but Queen 7 is just garbage.
It's too weak.
The thing is that, like, David is a short stack and had to shove into 5 more players. It's like he's going to have Queen 7 be at almost a 97% frequency. Yeah, that'd be pretty brutal. Like if I was in the game with this dude Tony, and was just like unnecessarily using time. It's just like, hey, but he's got the time chips. He use them however he wants. It's just not my ideal way to use time chips, especially after playing a bunch of online games like the last few months. Like the time banks are so damn fast. Like I even get tilted when like the site auto clips my time bank and I didn't even see it for like half of my time bank. I'm like, shit. Now I just lost half of my time bank for as long as I sit in this game until it re-ups. So those time chips are pretty important. I mean, I played in it was at the end of 2018. We played 10, 20, 20 on Live at the Bike on a Friday show. I guess we couldn't get a bigger game going. At the time I was asked to play in that game. I was like, hell yeah. It's a sick lineup too. It had well, we'll get back to it. Tony's gonna rip his kings in. Ooh, this David has to call here.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
A lot of action.
Yeah, these are just like, dude, that's why tourney spots are so dumb. It's like
Yeah.
you're gonna be waiting and be patient, and this like the ace jack has no way out here, you know. And most of the time he's gonna be.
Oh man, 2 outs for the ace jack.
Most of the time he's going to be like just crushing Tony when Tony rips there, because Tony should be ripping.
Right.
Because Tony has a big stack or a bigger stack or second in chips. Barry Greenstein, ace on the river.
Ace of clubs.
Oh, 2 outs. Yeah, you're right.
You couldn't do anything, David. Never folding ace jack suited there.
Yep, GG to David, but he did.
GG.
$8,500, and he got to play on Live at the Bike. Could be worse. Times like these, you know. David ships 8,500 in the Taiwan millions, and here are the updated chip counts. The answer now is down to 8 big blinds. Rem is down to 12, so those are 2 short stacks. Tony, who just won some chips, is up to 23 BBs. And Kenji, who he just doesn't want to tangle with the big stack. And Kenji has like the worst disadvantage. I think Kenji is the one who's has directly the big stack, correct? Kenji is in seat number 1.
The what?
Kenji is in seat number 1. Is that correct?
I don't remember the names.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kenji is in seat number 1, and he has the toughest seat. To have the guy with the piles of chips directly or left really hinders. And here we see from the cutoff, ace 8 shove. Actually, ace 5 shove, ace 8 folded.
So there are no more. Oh, there's 1 ace left. Usually a fold for queen 10.
Oh, for sure. But it is 8 big blinds.
Yeah, so he does call. And he's not in bad shape at all. 2 aces are dead. A 5 is dead.
The reason why it's a fold is because Ren, actually that was not Kenji. With it, Ren only has 12 big blinds. So you can kind of just fold there. It's not too far behind a 60 situation. Man, 2 people folded an ace. It still hits.
Yep. It's a case ace.
Yeah, I just wouldn't gamble there if I was Ren. You just have to remember that he just shoved.
Bad card for Queen 10 is 5 of hearts.
He just shoved into 3 people. And now Ren is going to be left with 4 bigs. He's getting up. He thinks he lost, but he still has 4 bigs, I believe, unless the chip stacks were a little off. Maybe Ren was shorter than he thought then. And he just felt like gambling in that spot. So Ren won $10,850, approximately a main event seat for 2021. So we're down to 4, Wayne. 4th place is going to pick up $13,700. And again, Wayne, they're just going to fold over to the big blind, which is Carlos and the big stack. That's the power of running up the chip stack. That's what Fedor is known for, and Doug Polk, and also Dan Coleman. They're just like trying to run up stacks, because if they can get those stacks, they're going to punish, and they have a good chance of winning instead of kind of just, picking spots. They like their odds if they run up stacks, and that's the importance of running up stacks in tournament poker. If you guys have any questions for Wayne or I, will be commentating this final table. Some of these stacks are a bit shorter, so get your questions in.
Kitty and Andy will be back with a single table tournament, and we'll be broadcasting that on Live at the Bike.
Tony's going to bump it up. And he raises it up on a middling stack in their big blind. And the answer with ICM considerations is not going to defend the Queen 8. I think that's the 3rd hand we've seen Tony play. He's been on the snug side. He shoved ace queen, he shoved pocket 10s, and actually 4th hand he had the pocket kings as well. So Tony's been playing more on the snug side, no doubt. I mean, which he has to. He's kind of handcuffed, with ICM spots and 2nd and chips.
King Queen, definitely.
And I wonder if Answer has something, because he's not like looking the opposite direction. It's almost like he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to put any distraction for Carlos bumping up his button. And nope, he just didn't like his hand.
Ooh. This is trouble for Queen Jack if he plays.
Yeah,
I don't think it's not a fold.
No, definitely not. The thing is Kenji is 2nd in chips. So he definitely doesn't want to bust. Although Kenji, Tony, and the Answer are all close in chips. And this is a C-Bet 100 board. These uncoordinated boards, these are boards from looking at different software that if your cards were blank, you can still bet and make a profit because they favor the in position player. Just like that.
Just like that.
It's hard to hit a 8-5 deuce board when Kenji's range should be tight forehand, right? And then that board is super dynamic, which means going to be changing a bunch, right, from 8 high.
Yeah.
So that's a board that if Carlos wanted to bet napkins, if the turn was an overcard to the 8 plus another overcard came on the river, or straightening cards, that board is going to change with the 8-5. Straight cards with the 6-7. So it's a very dynamic board that Carlos can just apply pressure with the chips. So Carlos has got 91 big blinds. Tony, who's in seat number 4, has 24 bigs. Kenji, who's in seat number 3, has 22 bigs. And the answer in the green shirt right there has 18 bigs. And we got an all-in from the answer. Yeah, ace-9 is pretty tough here because... Oh, it looks like he's going to snap.
Call. Yeah.
I was going to say ace-10 is the call, right? For sure.
It depends how they've been playing. I mean, they've been playing with each other for a while. I'm not against the ace-9 rip here. I mean, you're ahead of the kings, the king highs, the queen highs, flip with the lower pairs. Yeah, I mean, they're
more suited.
They're going to ship with smaller aces.
Yeah, so ace-9 is kind of, in my mind, a little close, but it's probably just a call.
It's definitely close, and it depends on how you think the other players are going to play. If the other players are going to self-destruct, or you're forced to gamble, or if the button's too tight, then ace-9 would be an auto muck if he's been playing snug.
Ooh, so the answer is back in it. He does a little fist pump. 1.82 in chips. So if the blinds are still at 40K, that's about 45 big blinds. He goes from the short stack to second in chips now. Quick shout out to Kim Cox, been rocking with us. Detroit Siggy all day. What's up, Matt Benjamin? We got up in the mix. We got Natty, of course. Natty always comes to our live at the bike parties. What's up, Natty Witt? Lujan, what's up, Lujan and Associates? Lujan's been rocking with us all quarantine as well. Narda now, what's up? SS Thang is in the mix as well. Tournament Pokers. Shout out to the 471 people watching at home. Here are the big blinds. And every time they redo the big blinds, I rewrite them down on a piece of paper for y'all.
Oh, there's auto rip.
So Kenji has, it looks like he has just under 7 bigs. He has 6.5 bigs. King Jack on the button seems very, very good hand to shove. And it's going to get through. And I like Carlos's demeanor at the table. It's almost like he doesn't care. He's really relaxed. Going to pick his spots.
Welcome, Natty Witt. It was Kitty Quo that engaged with the CTP to put them on camera and then have Live at the Bike played on our channel.
So Eric Vasquez asks a pretty cool question, and he says, what would you guys tell your younger self on how to be a pro?
You want to go first?
So, I mean, I can go with the generic ones that, obviously matter. Pick your spots. Bankroll management, don't tilt, but those are the common ones. I would say to refine that question is something that better fits me. What do I wish I would have done if I can do it all over again? I probably would have just been playing bigger for a longer time period. Because in 2013, 14, 15, I was mainly playing 5'5" and 5'10", and sometimes going to playing 10-20. And I should have been, going over there, checking out the 10-20 every day, and sitting in it when it was good, and playing a little bit bigger throughout my career. I'd have more money now if I was doing that then, and didn't start taking like more risk until middle of 2018 and on. So I wish I would have. The reason why I'm here is because of my risk assessment, but I wish I would have been a little bit more risky. So I hope that answered your question, Wayne. What would you tell yourself?
I could have been a little more risky too. Like it was just a different time period because like I would not advise people to be professional poker players in this era, but when I did it, it was a pretty good move as long as you had an exit plan, or if you get good enough where you could spawn off to what JJ and I are doing now, which is work for a show and I'll be a house player, and so I could do other things. But it's just much more competitive now. I talked about it. Chris Burr talked about it with us in the Poker Up podcast. I made a couple mistakes. The year I went broke, it was stupid because like I knew so many people went broke. I know I had to be responsible and just like small slip-ups here and there, and that's the problem with playing poker for a living, because if you don't develop credentials, all you have are your poker skills, and you don't really have any backup plans unless you branch out into like broadcast or training or.
So here's an interesting spot, Wayne, because the answer does have 31 big blinds, which is second in chips, and there's a massive short stack. So he decides to, which I think is a correct play, just flat his sevens versus the big stack.
Looking for a favorable flop.
I mean, yeah, because Kenji has 7 big blinds in the white shirt right there. And it looks like Tony has 23 bigs. And with Kenji having, or not Kenji, the answer having 31 big blinds, definitely doesn't want to bust having second in chips. Second in chips right now is worth 27,000.
Ooh, that's a favorable flop for sevens.
Where the next bust out is 13,000. Yeah, this is a spot where I'm just gonna check call, and rip it. Carlos has been very aggressive. He does 2x pot rivers with medium strength hands. So if Carlos does pick up a queen or a 10 or hits runner flush, he's gonna overbet. I definitely would just call, and probably even on the river, even if Carlos does check back the turn, I would check the river just knowing my opponent is pretty aggressive and likes to take unorthodox lines. It seems like Carlos is a pretty loose, aggressive player, but also thinking player, and he knows that there's a short stacker on the table, and he can just apply a massive amount of pressure. It would be very catastrophic here if the answer was to bust when there is a super short stack at the table. Carlos is going to check. So this is a spot where I'm going to check back, and the answer does check back, and I'm praying that a club rolls off or a one-liner to the straight rolls off, and there's a one-liner. So either Carlos has the one-liner or he's going to bluff at the one-liner. Usually against aggressive opponents will always bluff at these one-liners, and Carlos almost senses that the answer is not the guy to mess with. We saw the answer call him off earlier as 2x pot size bet as well. Boom, here comes the hammer here.
Not fold.
You can't even put the chip in, Wayne. Yeah, also to Eric Vasquez, thank you for the question, man. The last thought I had was, if you want to be a pro now in 2020, your work ethic has to be insane. Even mid stakes, like a bunch of the guys I talk poker with, I know even if they don't admit to studying, they all study a bunch. And the ones who don't study that much are like, I still think they're good players, but they definitely are like fall a little bit behind the curve, and that curve is just getting higher. Um, and players are getting a lot better faster. So if you're not keeping up with the curve or you're not getting a little ahead, you fall really fast. And that's what I've seen in LA when I
I
played
agree.
old school pros. That even someone who played on high stakes poker, right? Like the curve, like of them just crushing, and just then they kind of like get complacent, and that curve just hits them way faster than they were ready for. Kind of like the COVID-19 curve. We're not ready for that curve. If we would have kept it we would have been on top of the curve, we'd have been all right. But since now we're playing pickup, and that's like kind of like how the old school pros are just trying to play pickup to the curve. Tough.
I agree. There's a lot of information coming out real fast. I mean, some of the hold'ems, and we talked about this. Christopher and I talked about this. Like the hold'ems, if you were competitive before, you can catch up quickly. But like a lot of the stuff, like PLO, there's a lot of brute force of just like memorizing spots. Having concepts, knowing your opponent. And we're just giving you a sneak peek of what it's like to play for a living.
Shout out to the people watching. What up?
Shout out. One of the big mistakes I did was because I wasn't trained very well when I was growing up, being good financially. So when I ran up a lot, I know a lot of people like Jesse Martin, Zach Freeman, or blah blah. They put their money in investments and grew money passively along the process, and that's something I didn't do. I was trying to develop my career while grinding and didn't have much growth of money. Very, very big mistake. Considering I got lucky to get that lump sum to begin with.
So Kenji's going to go on for 6 bigs. And it looks like Carlos is going to call him. We're not sure what Carlos has just yet. Oh, I guess Carlos did not call him. Okay. Oh, he did call him. Okay, they're backtracking the graphics. There you go. I thought I saw Carlos put in some chips.
Kick your kick.
Pretty sick, huh?
We'll see. It could still be a chop. If it's 2 high ones. Or the 7 pairs, and it's high. Or actually 7 pairs, it's already a chop. Ooh, that's a good one for the King 9. King 9 holds.
Yeah. Pretty sick. Just like that.
Just like that.
Take 4th place for 13,700. Looks like Carlos is going to be up to about 100 BBs here. So we got Carlos, and we're just going to call it seat 1, 2, 3. Make it easy for you guys and for Wayne and I. So seat 1 is Carlos, and he's got about 100 big blinds. The answer in the green shirt right there has got about 31 big blinds, and Tony's got 23 big blinds. So it looks like these are more updated. 35 big blinds and 24 big blinds.
So these spots, do you like min raising or like 1.5x the button? Or sorry, 2.5x, not 1.5x.
So both of these players, right? There's a $10,000 pay jump between second and third, and with Tony and Answer being pretty close to chips, right? 31 big blinds and 24 big blinds. That's not a big difference. So I'm probably going to be min opening every single hand if I'm Carlos. Yeah, obviously that's the only spot we can. But I'm probably going to be 3xing when in the small blind, and I'm going to open every button. Even if they doubt me 2 blank cards, I'm still going to open every button because he can just max pressure both these players. I mean, there's a 10K pay jump in progress here. And Carlos has a real hand here, unfortunately for him. Tony doesn't have much. Tony might call small bet though, like quarter pot size bet to see that gut shot. Depending on his sizing, it looks like bets exactly a quarter. Tony's gonna make a call. So this is gonna be a spot probably where Carlos is gonna go pretty big and hope that his opponent has an ace. Oh, Carlos checks it back. Yeah, I don't really like that. I feel like you can get called by draws if you bet small.
And an ace is going to call you anyway, too.
Yeah, flush draws are going to call you. So
it's different if you turn an overset. Like if the board's 10 high, you get called. You turn a queen, it's an overset. You could check that. But if you can get action from a higher card, you would want it. And there's a draw on the board, you would want to bet.
Absolutely. I remember when I first started, like, this is like early strategy, Wayne, and it still is amazing strategy. And looks like Tony is going to fire at this. So we'll get back to that topic after he fires. If not, this is just going to go check, bet, fold. And he does fire. Looks like 300K, so a little bit like a pot-sized bet here.
So he does induce the bluff.
Yeah, so we're just going to see Carlos. Let's see if he starts playing with his chips like he did last time he had a really strong hand. He was grabbing like blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow. And it looks like Carlos is he's just going to call because the flush got there.
So it ended up Carlos did get a lot of value by getting the induced bluff, which, you know, I've mentioned many times on Live at the Bike is a very underrated strategy in line.
So this is level 1 strategy right here, Wayne, which actually still works to this day. But like, this is like when I first started figuring out poker, okay? And I taught this to my brothers, and they were like, when you have a set and there is an ace on board, you fast play that.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever folding top pair ace. So like literally, if I flopped a set back in the online days, like I would literally just ka-chunk, and get paid every time. No one folds an ace. I don't even fold an ace. I get owned, you know.
Yep.
I get so tilted when I misplay a hand, or I still play a set on a street and there's an ace. I'm like, dude, go back to level 1. Go back to level 1. Forget about all this game theory you learned and checking back some strong hands here. Go back to fucking level 1 and fast player hand, because there's an ace on board. You're gonna get paid by an ace out all day. Anyways, we have a shove by Tony, it looks like, into the big stack. It looks like Tony has about 14 big blinds. Frustrating when like level 1 strategy you fuck up like 14 years later. You know what I mean?
I've misplayed quite a few hands, even when I was propping one. I'm a little rusty, but just like, yeah, I mean, you got to be on top of things. Like when you're playing for a living and you're playing on your own, you should be really focused, like right off the bat, and maintaining that focus. You can't let it slip, especially in big bet games, like no limit hold. Because when that big bet comes on any street, that's make or break time. Like a lot of the fixed limit stuff, like limit hold'em and the mixed games and 7-card stud, like you shouldn't be messing up any street. But if you do, it's like not that big of a deal as long as you're not giving a free card and letting your opponent get there for free.
Carlos is going to punish. Looks like he's going to raise it up. And I would be doing this with any 2 cards if I was him.
Eric Vasquez, what's a good study guide for 251 1K max? I mean, a lot of the repeatable training sites are good, and then you watch Live of the Bike to help micromanage.
Yeah.
I was very surprised how much I picked up just, watching this stuff.
Carlos is going to keep going, as I would as well. Keep piling chips in the pot. I believe the answer has around 30 big blinds, and Tony has something like maybe 16. So and you see how tight that ace deuce has to play because of ICM.
Shout out to the independent chip model.
And we've seen Tony do a lot of this. He likes to count his chips. Hollywood. That's what it's called. When I haven't been in the mix in live poker in a while, so I forgot. But it's called Hollywood. Time chip. Hollywood.
A lot of Hollywood in Los Angeles.
We need some actors here in LA. Coronavirus. All the actors are at home too. So, he's gonna make the call.
Got a 6. Gut shot for Carlos. Queen high flop, I would like to fire here. Carlos is going to check. 2 pair for 69.
And Carlos, we just see Carlos have some pretty good darn timing more than anything,
Yeah, and I think he definitely is a field player in a good way. Like, he micromanages a lot. It's how he feels his opponents' ranges, and I think he's definitely paying attention to players. So, shout out to him for micromanaging. You can't just play a static style, static strategy. Then you get exploited really easily. You do need to micromanage. It is poker. That's why a lot of times, we at Live of the Bike, we ask the players, come on the talk show, talk about your hand, because we can't read your mind. We make our best guess. We see results. We study so we can give you lines and strategies, but nobody knows everything, and they're the ones there have the hardest time. They can't see their opponent's cards, and we can. Shout out to Andrew and to Deep LA.
What's up, Drew? What's up, Eric Peterson, too? What up, Eric? Eric plays in LA. All in here. Ace little. So you see that Tony is down to 15 bigs after winning that lines. So Tony is down to 15 BBs. I believe the answer has something around 30, and Carlos has probably around 110. Not spot on. Hopefully we get the graphic thrown up.
Eric Vasquez asks, is a 20K bankroll good for 1K max game? If you're a solid winner, it is.
Seems small unless you're already a very good winning pro.
Yeah, Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When I would play online on the side sites, I wouldn't deposit a lot. So I would only deposit 1 or 2K and just run it up. but I was a proven solid winner, and it wasn't my whole bankroll. There were only a couple times I think I had to buy in like 4K on a site. But just like I'm not into depositing money, I just like try to buy in small, run it up, and then keep cashing out aggressively.
Professional.
Also, people who deposit a lot had the problems. You have to like show them your ID and stuff, or we have to go through a whole process to deposit more. As we talked about, Full Tilt, you weren't as careful as I was before Black Friday, because I already witnessed NetTeller go down. I got word NetTeller was going down like 4 or 5 months before it did, so I was aggro cashing out. So by the time Black Friday hit, I didn't have that much stuck online.
Oh, the answer. Got a raise in and all in, and you got ace 9 and 18 bigs. Hold it. You're gonna break those plastic cards. They're expensive. Tony, chill. You're gonna break them. They're like $130 a pop, man. Don't break them. You just can't continue after all this. Like unless you're Hollywooding with a big hand, you can't like. Oh, he does.
Oh, he's gone. He's going in.
Oh my gosh.
He's actually not in that bad shape. He's not in that bad shape.
Oh, yeah. What is it? 2 to 1.
Yeah, 2 to 1. And he has the suits. He has the suits covered too. Or sorry, he has one of the suits covered.
You just get your 18 bigs in a little bit better. There's a raise and a jam.
No, I would definitely lean towards folding. I'm just saying, like, it's not like there's some dead money in there. It was raise, re-raise, and put in, and he's getting 2 to 1 in this situation. So he's really.
You have to fade the chip leader and the dude who just jammed. It's pretty tough. Like,
hey man.
Ace
also
10 would be the cutoff, maybe. Ace Jack suited might be the cutoff, and then like Ace Queen. So. But I'm not a tournament pro. Disclaimer, guys.
I need to mute myself with it.
So 17,000 for Tony, who just busted in the red shirt right there. 17,900 to be exact. And we got a heads-up match. It looks like they might even be discussing a chop while standing up. Maybe not. I'm not sure. We will find out.
Yo, back on. I'll give you one guess who that was.
Someone called you?
Yeah. One guess.
If I get it right, is there like a $20 bonus or something?
Sure. If you get it right, I'll ship you $20 right now.
I feel like I'm going to get it right. I don't want to really take your 20.
I think you're going to get it right too, so.
You don't have to send me a 20. Uncle Abe.
No, not sending you the 20.
Because he called me earlier. Right
I know, he called me too.
I didn't answer because we were starting like in 20 minutes, so.
That was not a bad guess. Especially the way I'm talking. But it's even more obvious than Uncle Abe.
No, but that's why I didn't want to
say take my 20.
I felt bad because he called me. He called me earlier. That's why I was like, nah, I can't do my bro like that.
No, it was Wheeze.
Oh, Wheeze? No, I would not have guessed Wheeze. Wheeze would have been like.
Oh, really?
Wheeze would have been at like the 100th percentile that I would have guessed.
Wow.
I haven't talked to Wheeze in a long time. I think I saw Wheeze like one time in the last like year.
I mean, he and I talk. We have like stuff going on, just like with the COVID stuff. It's so.
How is he doing?
I don't know if I should say. he got sick, and we don't know if it was COVID, but he's fine now.
Oh, he didn't go take a test?
I don't think so. I think when he tested, he was fine, but he wasn't feeling well the last couple of weeks. But we don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah. Well, those tests are like you can have false negatives, right?
Negatives,
That's brutal because then you come home back to your family and shit, and then you say you're good. I think if you're feeling bad, you should probably do 2 tests, and like even if you're feeling good, but you like let's say me and you have hung out, right, and you tell me you have COVID, like. I should
get checked up.
I should probably go twice, like get tested, and then 5 days later probably get tested again just to make sure, because there's like a 30% false positive and then like a 40% false negative. I don't know the exact. Guys, don't listen to my numbers, and I'm not.
That sounds bad.
There's still a lot of fault. Like they're not 100% the test, so it's probably best to just, if you're not feeling good, double up on the test. If like if you feel pretty sick.
If you're not feeling good, just like try to isolate yourself too.
Well,
like
that's
prepare.
That's for sure.
Like when we were back at Live with the Bike, we took a lot of precautions. Like, I was kept texting you and Brian and talking. We're like, okay, look, what precautions should I take? Like, I want to be super paranoid because I know, you and Jazz visit your parents and your grandparents. So it's not just about us. There's like a lot of other people in this world we got to look out for. Dealer blind and then small blind. Definitely raising King 9 suited. Unless you have a lot of history and you want a little sneaky trap.
Shout out to 505 out there. If you guys tuned in and you guys want to hear more from Wayne and I, or you guys want to rewatch this back, it will be in our archive at liveatthebike.com. Shout out to our proud sponsor, Mac for Standing Law Firm. We drop his information here and there in the chat. So if you guys need a poker lawyer, it's perfect for you guys for sure. Great dude. And also shout out to manscaped.com, proud sponsor of Live at the Bike, their Lawnmower 3.0. If you guys get the perfect package, which comes with a lawnmower, which is the shaver and some deodorants, and they throw in a couple free packages of boxers and a travel bag. Also, you get 20% off and free shipping when you use the promo code LATB. LATB, 20% off. And we will keep pretty much the same schedule. Wayne's Pokercraft on Mondays, Wayne and I chilling on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And when we can bring you guys some new footage from Taiwan, which there will be more, we'll be having some more games from Taiwan starring Kitty Kuo and Andy.
They're going to be playing some single table tournaments, and we'll be streaming it here.
So the answer is going to raise it up. Carlos with my favorite hand is going to 3-bet this, no doubt, because he's probably seen Live at the Bike. He knows that the snowman is the hand.
JJ's favorite hand. Remember that, guys, when we blow that in trivia.
And it looks like he's reaching for like a 500K stack. And you got 7-6 suited, heads up matched. You just call and play a pot. This is just how it goes down. And it's exactly how it's going down. So 38,000 a first, 27,200 a second. So these players are playing for about $11,000 heads up match right now.
Gut shot for 7-6.
He does have a backdoor flush draw as well. It's going to be a hand that he definitely continues. Interesting spot here for Carlos here. Checking is fine. Betting to protect from 2 over cards like Queen Jack and King Jack seems very good as well. So I prefer a bet in this spot just for protection. And so does Carlos. Checking wouldn't be bad to induce and get your hand a showdown as well. So many ways to play Nolan and Texas Hold'em. As long as you have a reason for what you're doing and why you're doing it, it's probably okay.
Whoa, did it all go in?
Whoa, he ripped it. He ripped it all in. Where are his cards though? Are they already face up?
I don't know. I don't know if Carlos is tanking.
Yeah, but where
So
they're not in the box. No, he called.
oh, he called. Okay,
He called, yeah.
and that's it.
Because they're
Carlos
facing.
wins it. Chip leader. Congratulations to Carlos.
Dang, that was kind of a very unnecessary. You could have just called, saw a turn, and we went check. But
Yeah.
thank you for the Taiwan millions. There's the two stars right there that both wasted a few bullets on day one. Kitty Kwon and Andy. We'll be showing you guys more Taiwan Millions tournament series coming up soon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Wayne will be back Monday for his poker craft with a bunch of all-star guests coming soon. So,
well, this Thursday we're gonna have Kathy Zhao from the WPT Deep Stacks, and don't worry, Jay, I'm putting in a good word for you.
Thanks. I know Kathy.
I know. I'm just joking.
Is Kathy? I'll show you my dog real quick. Is Kathy though? Kathy is the one that I was working with at WPT, right?
WPT Deep Stacks. Ping Lu's husband, or Ping Lu's husband.
No,
Ping Lu's wife.
Okay, so then I don't know Kathy that well. I think I've met her once. I do know her husband, Ping. Ping is nicest guy, very good poker player.
Very strong poker player.
I might have met her once, maybe. I was thinking of the other woman who was guiding me through the WPT stuff. But I do know who she is. I think I've met her once before.
Kathy shouts out Brian, Evelyn, Brian, shout out Kathy. So
now it's Kathy Zhao Lu, right? Because Ping, his last name is Lu.
I mean, when I get the emails and the IDs, it's Kathy Zhao, so I don't know what they're doing.
Well, I know for it's kind of tough when you change your last name. It takes a while, you know?
Yeah.
So, and especially it gets kind of weird when you're, I'm sure that, Ping is a successful tournament poker player and he's doing a lot of traveling. You don't kind of want to change your name when you're traveling too.
Right. Makes a lot of sense here.
I know my wife didn't change her last name for almost a year after we got married because we traveled to Asia for a month and we didn't want to have any problems, traveling to a different country with her last names being different on different paperwork. So
right. Makes a lot of sense. And something that N2 Deep LA Andrew mentioned is that 20 buy-ins is some OG stuff that isn't really a good idea. I agree with him. I'm saying if you're a proven winner, 20 buy-ins should probably be enough to run it up.
Run it up, but you're gambling.
Yeah. You are gambling. So Andrew, I do agree with you, but I do think that I'm not gonna lie. I've had a few less buy-ins than that before in my day. Had a few bullets, maybe 6, 7, 8 bullets, but games were a lot easier back then, and it is gambling.
All right. Quick shout outs, and we're gonna let you guys go. Nick from Yuma, N2 Deep LA, Kim Cox, Maddie J88, Natty Witt, Nick from Yuma. I think I just said your name, but it's all good. One more time because you're always rocking with us. Ghost of GG, what's up? PS3 Shakes SS Thing, TD777, N2 Deep LA. That's Drew. That's our boy. He played right after quarantine. Lusion and Associates James Brown and Eric Vasquez for your questions. And anyone else who supports Live at the Bike, thank you very much. We'll see you Thursday.
Take it easy.
Yep.